It was a wet and windy afternoon. I bethought myself to go upstairs and see how the dying woman sped. I found the sick room unwatched, as I had expected. No nurse was there. The patient lay still and seemingly lethargic. Her livid face sunk in the pillows. The fire was dying in the grate. I renewed the fuel, rearranged the bedclothes, gazed a while on her who could not now gaze on me, and then I moved away to the window. A feeble voice murmured,
"Who is that?"
"It is I, Aunt Reed."
"Who I? Who are you? You are quite a stranger to me. Where is Bessie?"
"She is at the lodge, Aunt."
"Aunt? Who calls me Aunt? You are not one of the Gibsons, and yet I know you. That face, the eyes and forehead are quite familiar to me. You are like, why, you are like Jane Eyre. Yet I am afraid it is a mistake. My thoughts deceive me. I had wished to see Jane Eyre and fancy a likeness where none exists. Besides, in 8 years she must be so changed.
I now gently assured her I was the person she supposed and desired me to be.
I am very ill, I know. I was trying to turn myself a few minutes since and find I cannot move a limb. It is as well I should ease my mind before I die. What we think so little of in health burdens us at such an hour as the present is to me. Is the nurse here, or is there no one in the room but you?"
I assured her we were alone.
"Well, I have twice done you a wrong, which I regret now. One was in breaking the promise which I made to my husband to bring you up as my own child. The other, after all, it is of no great importance, perhaps. And then I make it better, and to humble myself so to her is painful. Well, I had better get it over. Eternity is before me. I had better tell her. Go to my dressing case, open it. Take out a letter you will see there. Read the letter.
Madame, will you have the goodness to send me the address of my niece, Jane Eyre, and tell me how she is? It is my intention to write shortly and desire for her to come to me at Madeira. Providence has blessed my endeavors to secure a competency, and as I am unmarried and childless, I wish to adopt her during my life and bequeath her at my death whatever I may have to leave. I am Madame, etc., etc., John Eyre Madeira. It was dated 3 years back. Why did I never hear of this?
Because I disliked you too fixedly and thoroughly to ever lend a hand in lifting you to prosperity. I could not forget your conduct to me, Jane. the tone with which you once turned on me, the fury with which you declared you abhorred me the worst of anybody in the world, the unchildlike look and voice with which you affirmed that the very thought of me made you sick, and asserted that I had treated you with miserable cruelty. I could not forget my own sensation when you thus started up and poured out the venom of your mind. I felt fear, as if an animal I had struck or pushed had looked up at me with human eyes and cursed me in a man's voice.
Dear Mrs. Reed, think no more of all this. Let it pass away from your mind. Forgive me for my passionate language. I was a child then. 8, 9 years have passed since that day.
I tell you, I could not forget it, and I took my revenge. For you to be adopted by your uncle and placed in a state of ease and comfort was what I could not endure. I wrote to him. I said I was sorry for his disappointment, but Jane Eyre was dead. She had died of typhus fever at Lowood. Now, act as you please. Write and contradict my assertions. Expose my falsehood as soon as you like. You were born, I think, to be my torment. My last hour is racked with the recollection of a deed which, but for you, I should have never been tempted to commit.
If you could but be persuaded to think no more of it, Aunt, and to regard me with kindness and forgiveness. Many a time as a little child, I would have been glad to love you if you would have let me. And I long earnestly to be reconciled to you now. Kiss me, Aunt. I approached my cheek to her lips, but she would not touch it. Love me then, or hate me as you will. You have my full and free forgiveness. Ask now for God's. Be at peace.